and they move to 15 for 1. So now Charles Bouchard has ball in hand. He's giving it to Samaroa. But he looks very, very interested to have a bowl. Does Chuggy. Samaroa just a 1-over in his spell so far. And with the wicket, will not want to be brought off. That's for sure. Field spread. So fine leg and third man, still the only man allowed out. Everyone else on the ring, other than cover that's a few paces in, trying to protect that single in the offside. Here's Samaroa. And this will bring about the biggest cheer we've heard from the Jersey players if they can dismiss Kushal Patel early.
Yeah, he's quite an important wicket, isn't he? Especially after back of 100. And probably the main contributor, the only contributor really in the first innings in the game on Monday.
Clipped. Beautiful. From Kushal Patel. You can see it's just got to the top of the ramp there, picked up by some Nepalese fans at deep mid-wicket. And Kushal Patel picking up where he left off from Monday. And that is a gorgeous stroke. Just a swish of the bat face, 19 for 1.
Gift at this stage of the game, especially with a brand new ball, second over in, second ball in. You cannot be bowling full pitch deliveries leg stump to a person of his caliber.
And there he goes again. 2 and 2. 1 over pitched, 1 too short. And a player of Kushal Patel's quality will not miss out on either. He is top class. 23 for 1 now.
Change of field after them 2 consecutive back-to-back boundaries. Deep square leg going out. Second slip coming into mid-wicket.
Yeah, the third man stays out, doesn't he? And short fine leg is inside the ring, as you mentioned there. So Julius Samaroa has now got some work to do. He brings deep square slightly straighter. Back on the mark. But now no pressure on Kushal Patel. He's 12 off 10 balls. And I can now understand, as you mentioned in the first innings, Kaz, about Kushal's gym experience. The power in those 2 boundaries at the start of this over, especially the flick over mid-wicket. Not only timing, but he just carries so much power.
Yeah, and it seems effortless at the moment, the way he's stroking them deliveries. But once it leaves that bat, you know it's going to the boundary. The sound, the impact, but also the intent to play the shot is there as well. So, yeah, great bit of cricket. And obviously, for youngsters that are watching, gymming is important, but having the right muscle capacity to play your shots as well, all 360. It's not about just being strong and big in the gym. It's about being explosive as well.
Well guided. This should just be a single. Oh, they're running on the misfield. Samaroa's not going to be too happy about that, that's for sure. But that ends the over then. And Nepal are just starting to get into their stride here. And just to remind those of you who aren't aware of Kushal Patel's last 5 scores in international cricket, they're 129, 126, 20, 65, 105. Kushal Patel is hungry for runs. He's not going to stop until this chase is done. So Daniel Birrell to continue from the far end. And Jersey sticking with the slip in the gully for the moment, although he's having a chat with his skipper, Charles Pichard. What do you reckon will be the discussions there, Kaz?
I think it'll be a case of whether they're going to move the field round or they're going to get a short man in catching. I think the question here is, do you want to have somebody out deep, which is exactly what's happening right now with short third coming up into the ring. Yeah, having a deep cover out, just to give that extra cover for the left-hander, especially after the exquisite drive in the last over.
You can just see short third man on the right side of your shot there. The gully's gone into cover, and as you mentioned, that deep cover point is on the rope. And there's someone bowling to his field. Good amount of away swing there from Birrell. He's swinging it with the wind. And that'll be a very promising sign for him. And Ishan Pandey will be slightly worried. But this, at least that protection allows him just to hover it outside that off stump and hopefully build up some pressure.
Yeah, some really good tactic here. Backed up with equally some brilliance in the ball. That's what you want to be doing. Good line and length. If anything, I would love to see another second slip in there.
Mm-hmm.
With that level of movement that he's getting, bounce.
Oh, blimey. Great stop from Dunford. I was just thinking where you could find that second slip from. And as I saw the ball go down the leg side, all of a sudden I think fine leg's probably got to stay there. But fine leg would have been my thought. If Birrell was confident enough to hold it outside the line of off stump, there's where you could find your second slip.
Yeah, for me, I would have probably gone mid-wicket coming across and mid-on going slightly wider, especially if the swing is there. That delivery is there and he's targeting the pads. I'd love to go 7-2 field as opposed to 6-3 with mid-on going wide around. But equally, if he's going to hold that line, doing really well so far.
Yeah, and it's one thing, if anything, we've seen a slight difference between the two bowling sides is that Nepal have been happier and more confident to stay aggressive, be more aggressive and for longer, keep the extra catches in. But this is good areas here from Birrell. And Pandey struggling to get him away.
Yeah, his options are minimal at the moment. Where he really wants to be doing is driving through cover and extra cover, which is a high-risk option right now with the ball moving so much. He's just got to be patient and wait for a moment of error from the bowler.
Chance. Oh, he's just gone past the stumps. That would have been very close. Well, backed up in the end by Patrick Googe. He seems to be everywhere. The young man. And the pass at 26 for 1, which feels a good comeback after being 3 for 1 in the second over. You see some children playing in the nets at long on. And again, Birrell is bowling well to this field. That's where he needs to hold it. And Pandey, it's now going to be a test of patience. How many times can he let a wide ball just go past? How long can he stay patient?
And from my perspective, the longer he stays in, the longer I would keep on Birrell. Bowling really well from that end.
There is a shot, slightly in anger. Patrick Googe is running around. He can't quite make it. I don't think Jersey will mind that. That shows that their plan's working. That Ishan Pandey let the moment get the better of him and went out for an aggressive shot It worked a treat, but potentially could have given a chance. That ends the 5th over, 30-1.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was a pressure release shot.
And it looks like we're going to see a bowling change here. Potentially. Van Breede. Scott Van Breede wasn't available for the game on Monday. But he bowls a heavy ball, does Van Breede, that's for sure. Quite an ominous-looking fast bowler. Again, having conversations with his skipper, Charles Bouchard, discussing a potential fielding change. Everyone in the offside in the ring, other than third man, just past a slightly deepish gully. Jake Dumford is up to the stumps. Also a short fine leg in the top right corner of your screen. That's Daniel Birrell there. Deep square leg as well. Right into Dumford's gloves. Now there's a big gap out here at mid-wicket. Deep square leg is slightly in front of square, but a stacked out offside field. Now it's up to Van Breede to bowl to it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's asking questions about trying to just bowl to the offside field.
Bit of extra bounce. Good work behind the stumps and a loose shot from Patel.
It's checking off a bit, that.
Dumford definitely would not want that to be on the central line of his body. Otherwise, he could be taking it on the grill. It's my first real sign of Van Breede, and he's a big man. Not sure I'd be standing up to this guy. He's bowling with power. It's going to be a good matchup here, these two. Van Breede against Patel. Uppercut. Not under control, but it's in the gap. And there's going to be 4 more. Nepal moved to 34 for 1. Is this just another sign of potentially what Jersey got wrong on Monday with the ball?
I don't think the plan is wrong. I think the execution of the delivery, just providing too much width to a batter like Kushal, who's not going to miss out on that, especially coming from a T20 background as well. He's not going to miss out on width outside off stump. So I think he needs to get tighter.
Well, he's gone too full. Is this a chance? It's Nick Greenwood who does the fielding. For a moment, he thought he was in the game there. It was always just a couple of meters beyond him, and he was moving across the turf with rapid pace. He almost forced a chance out of nothing there. But Van Breede did bring his line slightly tighter, and it brought about a potential moment. So 1 ball left in the over. Can Van Breede make something happen with Patel on strike? End of the 6th, 36 for 1. You're going at a good rate here, Nepal, but again, it feels like just every now and again, Jersey just gifting Kushal a delivery to put away.
Yeah, too many boundary balls in the first 6 for my liking. Just need to be a little bit tighter. Player of Kushal's experience will not miss out on that. Ishan on the other side, 10 of 14, capitalised where he needs to, but is slightly under the pump here because he's got Birrell coming in and bowling against him. The ball swinging away still, assisted very nicely with the breeze as it's going across the ground. So there's challenges for the left-hander.
Short down the leg side. Just glanced on his way with the pull shot. Scott Van Breede. He does the fielding. Big screaming cheer from Nepalese supporters. A couple of flags flying around today. It's like the away end of a football ground.
Not much to cheer though today.
We've had a few wickets, but they took a while to come, didn't they?
We've not had the speaker out as well today.
No, I know.
Not heard that.
I kind of think it puts you off. I'm not sure if you can pick it up on the microphones, but quite often the fans are yelling and screaming as the bowler's running in. And I'm sure these players are used to the cheer and the hope towards a delivery. But when there's one person doing it, it almost seems slightly more distracting.
I'm sure the Nepal players are having come from India in the World Cup when you got 30, 40,000 people screaming Wankhede Stadium as they played England.
Yeah, they'd have been used to it there. It's well timed out into deep mid wicket. And Guj is the man again. You'd think, after a 95, just have a little moment and slip. Have a bit of time in the slip corner and take a breather.
Absolutely not. Young lad.
He's running all the yards at the minute, isn't he?
Young lad, lots of energy in the game. Might take a screamer out there, get man of the match award.
Patel advances and cracks the shot of the day through the covers. A beautiful cricket shot from Patel. And this is ominous for Jersey as the man in form is racing along to 26.
Beautiful cricket shot. For any kids that are watching or listening out there, the weight transfer, the execution of the shot, the hands going through the line of the ball, the weight distribution, using his head to get over the top of the toe. Beautiful, beautiful cricket shot.
And again, this is helped down to Van Breeder. Patel gets a single. I think what's slightly worrying is the rate Nepal are going at. And Ishan Pandey's had to force a few boundaries, but it feels everything Kushal has been given, he's put away in no time.
Yeah, Kushal's doing really well. 27 off 23 balls. Ishan just slightly behind, 11 off 15. But at this stage, it's not a big worry. They've done really well so far to get to this stage.
And Birrell is back on the mark to support Ishan, who's been watching Kushal Patel tuck into some slightly loose deliveries. And meanwhile, every ball he seems to get seems to be Birrell's best one. Maybe Birrell's just got a little bit more confidence bowling to the man he dismissed on Monday. But that ends the over. It's 44 for 1. And Nepal feel on top. So 7 overs gone. Just a tick over 6 runs and over at the minute, Nepal. As we have a quick look at the bowling figures, Samaroa, 1 for 14 from his 2. And I think it's that far right column which tells you the problem at the minute. The economy. No bowler has really been able to build up significant pressure and dot balls. And what Nepal was so good at, especially that opening spell from the likes of Sompal Kami and Hemant Dami. They bowled well in a partnership. They didn't give away too much from either end.
Comes to second over.
Just a lens on it there to Kushal. Good slide from him. 2 more runs added. Again, it's slightly worrying signs there for Jersey, just because how easy it looks for Nepal.
Yeah, I think waiting for something to happen. But they're doing all the right things. I mean, I feel it's in the right place. Sort of trying to bowl a time outside stump. Not there though.
away. Number 23. Returning here on Wednesday. And Scott Van Breeder. On his hands here. Try. However, he's yet to really get into his knock just because of the quality of the bowling. Toward him. Jersey will just hope that they can build. Maybe Jake Dumfries just said something to him there, maybe a little bit too late to Ishan Pandey. A few smiles out in the outfield. Scott Van Breeder with his luminous green spikes runs away from us. Now something's building here for Jersey. They can keep something like this up for maybe 2 or 3 overs. Yes, Nepal are already in a good position, but it just feels like if they can join something together, if they can build a bit of something, they can get a wicket here. They've wrestled this game right back. And there's clearly what was building. Ishan Pandey feels like a player who's slightly searching at the minute.
Yeah, he's not really getting into the ball as you would like from a left-hander's perspective. Seems to be away from it every time he's connecting. And I really feel the Jersey bowlers are looking to target him to get a wicket, because at the other end, you've just got the wall of Kushal, who seems to be punching this ball all around the ground. But yeah, Ishan looks a bit sensitive for me at the moment.
Well, he'll be wanting to spend a bit of time at the crease. We're going to see a little bit of spin for the first time in this series from Jersey's opening batter. Harry Carlyon scored a brilliant half-century in the first dig. And just as Nepal went early to Lalit Rajbanshi, can Carlyon make something happen? In the air, caught! An extra cover. No? Down. I think that's gone down into the ground there off the drive. I've been done by the bump ball. You're cracking up next to me.
I am, because that was a schoolboy experience.
I couldn't quite understand. Like, he's gone for a lofted drive straight to cover, first ball.
I love the excitement. What was also really exciting for me is to see how close your head was to the roof of this
tent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost collapsed it with a leap. How embarrassing. Anyway, Carlyon moving to right arm over to Patel. Wonder if a few Jersey fans celebrated with me. Paddle sweep. Scorching away along the outfield. And finally, the Nepalese fan base are cheering along. Kushal Patel to 34. 50 up for Nepal.
Great bit of innovation there. And what I really like about that is the intelligent cricket mindset that he's got. Off spinner coming on, he knows that 45 is slightly square of the wicket. He's used the pace to go even finer. Beautiful cricket shot.
He really holds the key, doesn't he? He is everything for Nepal at the minute. Yes, they've got the skipper to come in next. DSRA, I'm sure, will want to have a bat in this game as well. But it really does feel like this man is the crucial wicket.
Yeah, he certainly is. Holds a lot of expectations for a very big country with 30 million supporting him. I'm pretty sure that he's living up to every bit of expectation so far, and he's done really well. Looks so in control. What I'm really impressed with him is the fact that he's so in control of his time at the crease. Doesn't look like he's phased by anything, and certainly not rushed up. I haven't seen anybody rush him up so far. We had the one delivery which popped up in the innings the other night, which took off the shoulder blade, but that's about it.
Tell you one thing I've also just remembered, and this was a bit of an unforced error, but when he was dropped on 50 on Monday, just at backward point by John Tijen, it was a tricky chance. But those two moments, other than that, it's almost perfection from Patel. That one just picks up on a length as well. And that's the height of Van Breda. It's what we saw from Samaroa over the couple of games from this end, is that tennis ball bounce with the ball coming from such height.
Yeah, and if anything, the off spinner coming on again from the other side with a big breeze going down the leg side, maybe just wants to question whether it's drift that's on offer.
What a brilliant cricket shot. Kushal Patel is letting nothing not reach the boundary that deserves to. Patrick Good sprinting along that outfield. He's already had to do plenty of ball collecting around the covers. A deep point, but the poor man got 95 and is now picking up all of Patel's boundaries for him. You're right, he looks so in control at the minute, does Patel. And inside the first 10, he's almost heading towards his 50.
The bit that I'm curious about is you've got the big tall lad, Scott, bowling from this side with a packed outside offside field. Now, if he was to switch ends and pack it out, being hit into the wind, and the off spinner coming in from this side, bowling into the wind.
Yeah.
You're tightening up the game a bit more. And just bowl a negative line, just bowling into your field for a little bit longer. You don't give them the width to then hit long boundaries over there. Just not sure what the plan is to the right-hander.
Hande pushing at a wide one. You don't look too happy, Kaz. You all right?
I'm always happy, mate. I'm ecstatic. I'm happy that I'm next to commentary genius, royalty, as they say. I've got to feel.
About me, are you?
I know.
You're talking about yourself.
Well, no, not that as well. So I'm really conscious now to see how Ishan's going to really contribute towards this side. He's 13 off 26. What it does do potentially might put on extra pressure on the other side to Kushal to keep ticking the board over. You do need somebody to anchor in the innings, but you also want to make sure that you're playing some positive cricket shots as much as possible. You just don't want to leave too much responsibility on Kushal. Got a change of bowling from the bowling at the other end,
The far end.
the far end.
Drive on the up. Good stop from Daniel Birrell. Prevents the run. But I reckon that's the one area Kushal Patel looks slightly vulnerable. He's driving on the up, slightly mistiming drives through the covers.
You're right. How about a little short cover in there and the catch?
Pulled just over mid-wicket. Not quite time, but the outfield's fast and it goes away for 4. Now it's Charlie Brennan who's replaced Patrick Googe deep on the leg side. And he's the one to go and pick it up. 4 more.
Good cricket shot. Again, he's not really got a hold of that, but the power, the brilliance, race to the boundary.
See, when the pace is on, he plays it under his eyes and down into the ground, often putting it away with timing. But it does feel when the ball just slightly sticks, he can get little bit out of the line of where his head is, a little bit outside the offside, slightly pushy, maybe slightly bottom-handed through the offside. I'd say that's the one area that I can see Jersey could take his wicket. Maybe a short capture in an extra cover, something like that. But that's classy. Played down towards third man. Good fielding down there. Or the tall Scott Van Breeder. And Nepal moves swiftly to 65 for 1. And Kushal Patel has 4 runs off a 50 in the 11th over. There's a bumper from Samaroa.
Houses.
It's gone through quite some pace and well over head height, but Patel looking to take it on. He's in that kind of mood.
Kushal now 46 from 35. Just looks in sheer control. Sheer control, lots of timing, lots of time at the crease.
He's looking to push for 2 here. Placed like a master into the leg side, perfectly in a pocket free of converging Jersey players, and he gets back safely for a second run. And he's 2 runs away now, 1 ball left. Kushal Patel, I think you'd be very surprised about his 50 over average for Nepal. Incredibly surprised. Oh, he's almost dragged it on though. Maybe again that sign of slightly variable bounce causing an issue. But yes, Kushal Patel's stats. Averaging with the bat in 50 over cricket, 24.
Wow.
So showing that he's not quite reached his full potential, and the form he's in now could send his stats skyrocketing. But now, a conference, a conflab, Pershard, Van Breeder, Dunford, all discussing, and the conclusion they've come to is a change of bowling. Charles Pershard marking out his run, the Jersey skipper, wealth of experience, looking to stem the flow of run scoring. But they have taken a leaf out of Nepal's book, it feels, with the short, sharp spells, keep bowlers rotating. Maybe that was the reason that despite the Jersey batters being able to get in, especially at the top of the order, they never really felt like they got away from Nepal. Maybe that maybe that was because of the constant changes of bowling. Didn't allow the batters to settle. So Jersey have learned from that. Benjamin Ward has been subbed on, whether we'll see from him later. We'll yet to see. I'm sure Jersey will need some of his leg spin. He's been pushed out to long on, and now he's had to run back in. Square legs deep on the boundary. Third man's out. Deep cover. Long off as well. Bashard beats the bat. And this is going to be an interesting period of the game now. How can Patel deal with a little bit of pace off? How will the Nepalese batters counter this change in pace?
Be interested to see, because I think Prasad coming on now is a fantastic change-up.
Mute her, eller?
He's looked very tentative, very scratchy at the crease, unfortunately. The danger is that he gives a soft dismissal here, having taken up 27 balls for his 13.
Well, you can see, can't you? Look at the two different strike rates between the two batters. The sign of a man in form and the man searching for some. Bashard. Right on the money. Hospitality marquee. Really enjoying that delivery from Chuggy. This feels like an important part of this innings now for Jersey, just to bring back the game back into their way. Pandey needs a few more balls like that, I think, just to keep his score ticking along.
Some easy ones off his hip.
Indeed.
71 for one, sorry, off 11.5. And they are there or thereabouts, like we sort of discussed earlier on. If they can get to, which they have done, just under 7 and over.
Look how easy it looks for Patel right now. Good ball from Bashard, just dropped into the offside, and there's 50. Not sure his teammates have even noticed, to be honest. A little raise of the bats to the fans. 50 coming off 40 balls to a man who's completely in command of his own game. Nothing's phasing him, putting everything away to the boundary that deserves to. He's already halfway to what feels like what almost would be a nailed-on 100. Oh, I said it. Can Samaroa get rid of him? The ball after 50. Sneaky single. Moves to 51.
And this is something that Nepal have done really, really well. Just drop and go. Seen it in the Jersey innings as well. But this is something I've seen consistently now from Nepal, just dropping inside the ring, trusting your partner, and off you go.
Back of a length from Samaroa. Yeah, Kushal Patel not quite having the impact he would have liked on the big stage of the men's T20 World Cup back this year, earlier this year in time. Just 78 runs from his 4 innings. And just by watching him go about his business here, he feels like a player who should now be in a position to really start scoring big runs on the big stage.
Yeah, he should be. He's definitely been given the opportunities. Maybe that's the contribution that he needs to put in during this tour and the next one. It's going to be really crucial for him, for the people who are backing him and supporting him.
Samaroa with a switch of ends from where he started. That's quick. Good pace past the outside edge of Ishan Pandey, who seems to be getting all the good balls at the minute. I think Kushal Patel will just be saying to him, just keep going. Time at the crease is what you need. Patel's taking on the run scoring so that Pandey doesn't really have to at the minute. Slashing cut shot past the diving fielder, Jonty Jenner, who this team all know is brilliant in the gully region. Just beyond his reach, and another boundary for Nepal off the bat of Ishan Pandey. And every single one of those is going to give him confidence. 77 for 1 in Nepal.
Absolutely. I'm not sure where that aggression has come from.
Well, it feels like he's looking at his score. Pats that one down. When your mate's going all guns blazing at the other end, making it look absolutely easy. How does it feel as a batter who's slightly searching for form?
I think the key thing here is, again, another little coaching tip for youngsters or anybody who's listening in. If you're struggling to have a little bit of form and you've got a guy at the other end who seems to be absolutely nailing everything and seems to be in position and rotating strike and seems to be cashing in, I think your job is not to look for boundaries. Your job is to look for singles and get the opposite person on strike as much as possible. You don't need to do anything flashy, anything out of the ordinary, anything that you're not comfortable with. Just find a single from somewhere. Over time, that will build your confidence up and you will start striking the ball, confidently over time. But if you're struggling early doors, put the boundary option away unless it's really on offer and find a single.
It's gone high up in the air. It might have gone all the way, but no, the fielder's underneath and it's gone. Benjamin Ward with the catch. And that is a massive wicket for Jersey. It's brought a huge applause from the crowd here as the Nepal main man, straight off the back of a century, gets to 50 and gets dismissed. Bit of bounce from Pershad, and who would have thought that he'd be the man to bounce out Kushal Patel. 77 for 2, huge wicket.
Absolutely huge in the context of the game. The man in form, obviously hitting into the breeze, doesn't help. It's held up for an awfully long time. And more importantly, a comfortable catch in the deep. Great wicket for Jersey. 77 for 2 off 13.1. Skipper breaks the shackles there, and Edwards taking the catch.
So Bim Sharkey's the new man. Made a good 39 yesterday. What was so impressive about Sharkey? What did he do well that might be important for Nepal?
Look to rotate the strike, did really well. Early doors, was busy at the crease, just towards the back end from what I can remember. Just tailed off and got a little bit under pressure. The danger is you don't continue to do that with Ishan at the other side. 18 from 34. Bim really needs to get into the game and take some leadership. Be interesting to see how well he strikes, how well he gets into a position.
Right then, Charles Bashar with the wicket. And Benjamin Ward with the catch. Maybe it's not Benjamin Ward. We'll see on the scorecard a little bit later. And if we are wrong, I'm sure we can correct you a little bit later on. So Bashar making a few changes, and it's game on. Sharky will look to rotate, look to stay busy. Champande now will be battling to keep the scoreboard ticking after he's lost his playing partner. Sharky defensive. I think what could happen now for Nepal is Bim Sharky, despite him being active, being positive at the crease, he did go through quite a long spell where he wasn't able to score. Isham Pandey also at this current time is struggling to keep his rate up, struggling to score. And what we now could see is two Nepalese batters come in and maybe start to delay this chase. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The danger is you've got two batters who are very similar. I mean, Sharky straight away showed some intent to try and run a quick single. Single wasn't on, but the intent was there.
Edged off the outside half with a cut shot running down to third man. Now, the fielder out there, who I thought was Benjamin Ward, is Dominic Blompe. So, mistaken identity. It's their caps. They've both got such aged jersey caps here. They look so similar. Similar number 2. Anyway, Pashad set to continue. Pushing drive from Pandey. Isn't it funny how one player can just look so at ease and the other two really, really struggling out there? Bim's only had 4 balls, so I'm not saying he's really struggling, but Pandey does look to be a little bit in the mud at the current moment. But new bowler, Benjamin Ward, to come on. He was classed the leg spin on Monday. Oh, very well.
Yeah, 2 things here, Charlie. One, Benjamin Ward has got a very distinctive beard, which I'm sure you've realised when you announced who the catcher was. And 2, I'm pretty sure if this is his approach to the game, that's completely fine, but he cannot put added pressure on from the opposite end.
Well, just at the start of this new over, we've been welcomed by a special guest, a Jersey legend, in fact. Welcome, Asa Tribe. Good to have you.
That's very kind. Thanks for having me, Charlie.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Very good. Enjoyed the first half of my day with watching Jersey bat. And hopefully they can get over the line here.
Bit gutted you're not playing?
Yeah, a little bit. Obviously nice to put a Jersey shirt on, isn't it? As always.
I'll shut up towards long on. Bim Sharky scampering away. Thought about a 2, but just the single added. Talk to us about your relationship with Jersey and what it means to play for this team.
Yeah, it's obviously my home country. It's where I'm from. Always loved playing for Jersey and did that up until when I started playing for Glamorgan, and I really enjoy putting that Jersey shirt on as I mentioned before, and it's who I love playing for.
And this challenge for the Jersey boys, Nepal, I'm sure, again, a challenge you'd love to have been involved in, but what are the challenges this team face? And also, I assume the Jersey players would be thoroughly looking forward to challenge like this, right? To test themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, there could be a side we could be playing at the end of the year if results go our way. And look, some of the challenges I think we're looking at. Obviously, we haven't played a side like this before. That would be the first one. And then I'd probably look at the fact that look, their playing style is a bit different to ours. They kind of hit a bit more square of the wicket. Seem to be quite aggressive against spin and other pace, whereas we kind of are a bit more English style, get ourselves in and then have a look. So yeah.
And your brother, Zach, in this side, he's been in some pretty good form of late for Jersey. Got a good 50 today. What's it like playing alongside him at this level?
Yeah, it's brilliant, really. I can't complain at all, and that's part of the reason why I do like playing for Jersey. Playing with my brother is a great experience that not everyone gets to do, and I'm grateful for having that opportunity.
And just a question from my perspective, as a Jersey side, obviously so close to World Cup qualification earlier in the year. Do you, as a side, really back yourselves to get into that position to be able to get to a World Cup and compete? Is that is the drinks 79 for 2 Nepal?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, as we just missed out on net run rate at the most previous T20 World Cup qualifiers, that was a bit of a hammer blow. But I tell you what it did do for us is it made us realise how close we actually are. And look, the 50 over competition, look, we are a bit further away from that. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat that, but the T20, yeah, we're right in the mix for that. Absolutely. You see a side like Italy go there and they were able to pull off a nice win when they're at the World Cup. So I don't see why we couldn't get to a World Cup and really compete.
And Jersey not playing a huge amount of 50 over cricket at the minute. Why do you think that is? And as a side, moments like this to play 50 over cricket against teams like Nepal are a great experience. Do you kind of hope as a side you could play more?
Yeah, I think so. And look, I think the only way you're going to get better at that is by playing this 50 over cricket. So I think that's certainly something we'll strive to do more of. And as our cricket gets better and we try and get into World Cups, we'll get more funding, and that'll allow us to play bilateral series against these kind of guys and really push our game forward. And look, I hope in future, if we do get ODI status and things like that, we can have lads who are officially centrally contracted right to the board, and that would be a really big step forward for Jersey.
Let's move on. It's perfectly timed drinks break, actually. Let's move on to your England hopes. What would it mean to a little bit further down the line? You feel like you've got a lot more work to do, got a bit more work to do. Do you feel close? And what would it mean to get an England call up eventually?
Yeah, look, I'm always trying to improve my game. I think that's something I'll always want to do. I never like stagnating. That's not really the personality I am. So, yeah, whatever walk of life, I try to grow. And look, there's aspects of my game that I've really pinpointed and wanted to get better at. And, yeah, look, I've obviously got aspirations to play for England, and I'll play for Jersey up until that point, really. And look, the current ECB setup has allowed people like myself and other younger lads to really get pigeonholed into playing international cricket, which I think is a great thing, but also can be a little bit of a burden. So, yeah, I've got high aspirations to play for England, and look, whether that's sooner or later, who knows.
And before we move on to your England Lions stuff, how, in terms of you ended up getting your opportunity at Glamorgan, playing university cricket, do you think that's a way in that almost doesn't happen as often? Do you feel like that should be a more common route in? Yeah, look, I think the Cardiff UCC setup has actually produced quite a lot of Glamorgan cricketers. Of the current staff, I look at myself, Will Smale, you've got Dan Douthwaite, you've got Andy Gorman, so there's a few in there, and Tom Bevan, who's just been released, unfortunately. But yeah, it was creating quite a nice little pathway for people like myself to come through and sort of see that as an avenue.
playing in professional cricket, and then once you're in professional cricket, it's about keeping yourself there, really.
Well, as Charles Bouchard gets things underway after the first drinks break, England Lions then. Talk about your experiences under the leadership of Freddie Flintoff, about the characters in that side. Playing for England Lions will come with its challenges.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get the quick single here. Good running.
Yeah, I think, look, I've had a couple of experiences there now, and my first initial one was one where I was able to gel with the group first, with a couple of Loughborough tours, or kind of trips to Loughborough, before we actually went to Australia for a Red Bull kind of camp.
Yeah.
Before getting stuck in some matches out there, and obviously we were alongside the main side, kind of shadowing the test squad. So that was a great experience in itself. And yeah, being around other guys there who are super talented, just learning off them was super important for my own game to really kind of push myself forward there. And you see kind of how serious other guys are taking it there, and it really drives you forward as well to be the ultimate professional, really.
And being alongside a touring Ashes squad, was that I'm imagining pretty incredible experience to be out there at the same time? How much, I guess, collusion was there with the main men's side? Yeah, there was a little bit of overlap, especially at the start when we were in Loughborough before we got to before we actually got to Australia. And then I think the first scheduled training session was supposed to be the whole group, Lions and test squad. It didn't end up being the case because apparently the wickets were wet, so nice.
Didn't happen in that way, but I suppose that's probably a good thing, not having to face Jofra on a wet one. So take the small benefits there, I guess.
Well, we all know deep down, or at least hope, especially I imagine here in Jersey, the hope for you to eventually get that call up. But you're definitely a player of quality. I saw you at I commentated on you actually at Glamorgan the other day
against Warwickshire.
Closed that game out nicely, 38 not out, 100 approaching. In terms of how you feel in the shorter formats compared to the longer form stuff, how do you feel like you are best placed to impact on sides like a Welsh Fire? Where do you see your role in that side?
Yeah, I'm looking at that squad, and the depth in batting is seriously talented. It's seriously good, and look, it's going to be tough for me to kind of get myself into that. But I suppose
just pulled away past a short fine leg. Benjamin Ward's diving in vain. It's another boundary that moves Nepal to 90 for 2, and Ishan Pandey just starting to get into his rhythm. Good shot from him.
Yeah, as I touched on, look, it's obviously going to be challenging. We've got a really strong batting line up there, and I think that was quite a clear tactic from the Welsh Fire management, right? Because they've gone heavy on batting this year and kind of then look to build the bowling. So look, I suppose we have a lot of lads competing for the top of the order, but I suppose my role in that might be sort of 4, 5, 6 kind of finisher role, like I started off with Glamorgan, and then kind of work my way in that way. And I hope that's the way I start off. If I don't start in the team, then maybe come in later on in the comp and try and hold my place that way.
And in terms of how that experience, just off the pitch as well, being around such a strong squad, strong overseas, and also the likes of Phil Sard and Joe Root in that side, you must be seriously looking forward to the experience of getting to know those guys, learning from them in the nets, right?
Absolutely. And look, that won't just be for white ball cricket as well. No reason I can't speak to Joe about red ball test batting and stuff like that. And I don't see why I wouldn't, because that would be a perfect opportunity in my opinion. And learning off guys like Phil Salt, current England players, like super destructive. So why wouldn't I want to have these chats? I suppose the only thing I've got to manage is that I'm speaking to them about something other than cricket, so they don't get too bored. But yeah, absolutely.
It is tricky, isn't it? I imagine to when you speak to a legend who, let's be honest, that you've looked up to in the likes of Joe Root. When you come to have a normal conversation with these guys, I imagine it's pretty daunting.
It can seem, interesting, because I'm thinking a couple of years ago, I'm watching these guys on telly, like superstars, and then I'm playing with them a couple of years later. So, yeah, I completely get that feeling myself. How was that?
Big appeal for LBW, a couple of noises. Let's go back to this game then, ASAP. 280. How do you feel about that? Look at the target, the maths. 190 off 199 balls. Big wicket of Kushal Patel down. How do you think Jersey will be feeling out there?
Yeah, look, that's a massive wicket. Patel, he's obviously super important for their batting lineup here. So glad we've got him out. I think we kind of thought maybe it was a fractionally under par. We saw 300 as maybe par.
Yeah.
Especially the position we were in, 150, 160 for one, right? So, yeah, look, haven't quite got as many as we wanted, but I think with the versatility of this squad, we've got plenty of bowling options, and Chuggy can just mix between those. Don't see any reason why we can't defend this.
Well, as Bashard starts on you over, let's talk about him. Plenty of experience in the Jersey side. Just after this ball, it's played down towards third for an easy single for Sharky. What kind of challenges as a batter facing Bashard? What challenges does he bring?
Look, he's obviously quite skillful. He's not got pace, but he's got skill.
Yeah.
And just subtle variations with Chuggy, whether he's trying to bring his wrist across the ball just to try and get a little bit of hold out of the wicket, or he's trying to swing it in, or look, he's obviously, how many games he played? He's played heaps, and there we go, just pushing it across in there. But look, I think that he's vital for how we approach this game, obviously leading from the front as captain and got the ball in hand, and he's not afraid to bowl the tough overs as well. He's obviously bowling through the middle now, but he'll certainly be saving himself a few for the back end if it does get tight.
And just to finish off, Ace, we don't want to keep you too long. We know you're enjoying your day here. But in terms of Jersey's other bowling options, they're going to need to make some breakthroughs pretty soon, it feels. So there's plenty of runs still to work with. In terms of your strike bowlers, you feel on this surface today are going to really make an impact, maybe even take a wicket? Who do you see making that charge?
Yeah, look, I think Julius could be one of those. Bit of extra pace, and we mentioned as that ball got a little bit older, maybe a little bit more cross-seam variation, it started to be a little bit more two-paced at the wicket, and I could see catches in front of the wicket being quite important there. Just a false shot could let us in, so someone like Julius with the odd off-pace delivery as well could be tricky.
So just looking at it from a coaching perspective, if you don't mind me just coming in, you've had a run of form with plenty of hundreds back to back. I remember you playing at Kenya with your brother, scoring mammoth amount of runs in Kenya. But since then, you've obviously kicked on and you've got some big runs. You've also got some experience in franchise cricket as well. What's been the real key to the success of your batting? If you could really home in on one particular area, is it a technical aspect? Is it a mental aspect? Is it a physical element? Because you're obviously growing over the last couple of years as well since I've last seen you.
Yeah, look, I find it hard when I get asked that question to pinpoint one thing specifically. Look, obviously, I've made a couple of technical changes which have helped across formats, but I think cricket is a really mental game, and it's about having a robust mindset for that. So I would certainly put a lot of it down to that, but I think the volume of balls that I've hit over the last 18 months has been a main driving factor. Not just hitting balls for the sake of it, but focus training into how I can get better. Areas that I've been exposed to that I haven't quite mastered when I've that I haven't quite mastered when I've played in those environments, and going away, working at those so that I can be ready to cope with that environment when I go back at it. So that would probably be my main thing. Training outside my comfort zone and really pushing myself that way.
Just talking about your comfort zone, then, is anything, one thing in particular that you could just, so some good young listeners who are looking up to the game, who are obviously understanding that you're now starting to get into the game at the top level and earning some really good money, which is a great reward for your hard commitment, and they would probably be looking up to that in the next 5 to 10 years. Is there one particular thing that you worked on? So let's say against spin. Is there anything that you would strongly encourage youngsters to do more often?
Spin related, it would probably just be quick feet, like whether that's a nice spot.
Chance to the striker's end, blocked by Sharky in the end. Huge scream from the fan. 95-2.
Yeah, so big thing against spin is dynamic foot movement. So not really getting stuck after a press, but how can I get right forward to play it before it spins, or right back to play it after it spins? So that'll be a key thing against spin. I think a lot of players can whack spin, but that's high risk. How can you be a good player of spin who doesn't need to take risk but can score freely? So that'd be a big thing, and that is coming from good footwork. So, but in overall kind of training and for young lads would be to put yourself outside your comfort zone, work on your weaknesses. Oh, no, stop. Work on your weaknesses and don't be afraid to get in there and fail, because if you're walking away because you might fail at something, I think that's a poor mentality about how to go at something. You can't just push away areas of your game that aren't very good and hope you don't get exposed to them, because as you move up the levels, people will find out what areas you struggle with and you will be exposed. So I'd say as soon as you find something that you struggle with, get in there and work on it straight away.
Yeah, there was an area I had the pleasure of working with Peter Moores back in the day, and he often referred to positive failure, where if you're in and around an environment and you're constantly failing, it's actually expanding your experience of not failing under pressure. And when you do fail, it often gives you a great chance to come back and continue your success under pressure as well. So yeah, he spoke really well about that, and he was quite big on it's okay to fail as long as you're learning from it and you're developing from it. So yeah, a great message to the youngsters.
Asa, I think it's our time to hand you back and for you to enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for popping into the commentary box, the commentary tent.
Thanks, buddy.
Cheers, guys.
And thanks for showing the way.
Catch you later.
Thanks, Asa. Have a good day. Asa Tribe of Glamorgan and Jersey joined us. Very good to have him here today. Not only for us, but also for the side to have Asa around and be able to help his teammates. Just to be around the group would be a huge help. So 97-2 then at the end of the 19th. And Nepal just stalling ever so slightly, and Jersey trying to keep the pressure on. So good to hear from a man who's started in Jersey. This is a huge lap sweep out towards deep fine leg. It's going to run away for 4. And these two batters starting to show the way of how they can keep and maintain the scoring on a tricky surface. 100 up for Nepal, 101 for 2. So good to hear from Asa there.
Yeah, fantastic cricketer. Obviously, a limelight for youngsters who are coming through now, watching a Jersey-born player at the big level, experienced in franchise cricket now. He's got some experience, exposure, should I say. He's been over to South Africa, played. Obviously, he's playing the 100 as well, playing for Glamorgan as well. So he's definitely a homemade name, and I'm sure others will be looking at the same opportunity as well if they can get it. But a fantastic cricketer. I remember him in Kenya. And boy, he played really well.
I think he's received enough of an ego massage now. Good player though. Right, Charles Bashard then to continue his over from the pavilion end, providing that variance in skill. Flowing drive from Pandey out towards Blompi at deep point. Throws in to prevent the second run. And just in terms of the game situation now, 180 off 184 balls. Nepal got wickets in hand. Two players who are starting to play themselves in. Do you think all of a sudden it might be advantage Nepal?
It would look like that, but I still think Jersey have got a breakthrough coming somewhere. You're looking. There's still 30 overs left in the game. A couple of wickets, and the pressure's really back on. The danger is you let these two guys go very quick between the stumps. They'll obviously find a boundary here and there. You let them continue on. Pritchard ends up bowling his allotted overs. The pressure's back on Jersey there.
Yeah, it certainly would be, and you get the thing. A breakthrough might be needed pretty soon. Huge back lifting, good strike up towards mid-off. Greenwood with the fielding. Still Nepal, these two. Champandi feels like he's had a bit of a battling knock today, doesn't it?
Stuck around for his team, 56 balls for his 33.
He's starting to find form. Exactly what Nepal be wanting from this, isn't it? You got your man who's in top form at the top of the order. He's come in, got a good 50. He's now out, but now all of a sudden the chance for other players in this squad to be able to, have a bit of time at the crease.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think from a Nepal perspective, they obviously want their opportunities for their batters at the top end to get some quality time in, lots of volume of deliveries under pressure, which will set them into a really good position for the next tournament over the next couple of weeks. That pressure is going to come thick and fast with Netherlands and Namibia. So yeah, exactly what I'm sure Stuart Lawwood wanted from his boys.
Here's Ward then. Down the track, Pandey meets it on the full. Just take a single. Ward very impressive on Monday with his leggies, his googlies. We're asking plenty of questions. Ward taking the wicket near the top of the man on strike now. Bim Sharkey, who was one of his scouts, holding with a slightly low bouncing drag on. He also took the wicket of Karan KC. Reaches for a drive out towards long off. Jersey are in danger here, it feels, of letting the Nepalese batters get a little bit too comfortable. It just feels like they're being given that chance just to bat as a sweep shot goes past short fine leg. That's going to be 4 more. Champande moves to 39. Jersey need a breakthrough. Just heard a little call from a Jersey fan saying we need a wicket here. I think that's the story. Ward looking to strike. In a bit of confusion. But we're back underway. Wide full toss, crunched out towards deep extra. Close at the non-striker's end, but Bim Sharkey, in his busy style, gets back to the non-strikers with ease.
Yeah, it seems to be accelerating a little bit more. Does Ishan? Maybe he's got the nod from sidelines.
Yeah. Single found. Jonty Jenner so quick in the covers.
I think from a batting perspective, if you can be somewhere at half stage on the 25th over. If you can be somewhere around the 140 mark, you're halfway there, and you're making it a little bit easier for the guys to come in.
A little bit of grip and cut away by Sharkey. And then, just to clarify, it was not too far away from this point where Jersey lost their first of Carlisle. 115 for 1 at the time, so pretty close. That worm would be pretty much neck and neck. Nepal just slightly ahead. They have lost that second wicket.
From the first ball to the final over, watch every T20I, ODI, and Test highlight from around the world. From rising stars to seasoned pros, every domestic and international match matters. Catch every cricket highlight, anytime, only on Stike Sports.
Scoring rate, but it has now popped up since Bim Sharkey and Ishan Pandey have started to get into the groove.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether that spike can just continuously agree. As I've just said, that it's just dipped again.
Now, Manny bowled well on Monday. It's Nick Greenwood. Took a couple of those middle order wickets, including the big scout of Kushal Bertel on 105. Then not long later, got rid of Arif Sheikh as well. Nepal all-rounder. So plenty of encouragement from Jersey. They know they're still in this game. Can Greenwood take a wicket? A little puff of dust. Potentially showing it's just a little bit dry out there. There's a lot of hot weather, but also a little bit of rain on Monday. This time to the leg side. And as Nepal approach the halfway mark, just keep wickets in hand for the moment. We could be on for a tight finish here. All the watchers, wherever you're watching from, whether you're watching from Nepal or from European shores, we've got a game on our hands. Champandi continue to tick along.
Charlie, today we've also got another game on our hands. Predictions?
England against Argentina. I felt that Norway was going to be a bigger challenge than Argentina, just because of the way that a lovely sweep shot backward of square, doesn't even bother running. Beats running Patrick Googe out there. This is really good batting here from Nepal. Ishan Pandey now moves with that score to 46. My prediction is a 3-1 victory. We haven't been too good at preventing goal scoring, but we've also been quite good at scoring. All the way. If this skips along, which it does, it's 50 up for Ishan Pandey. The biggest cheer of the day as he shakes hands with Bim Sharkey, little bat tap, and he remains subdued as he knows in the chase there's work to be done. Good knock from Ishan Pandey after really working hard for his runs early doors.
Yeah, absolutely. He's looked good in the last stages of this 50. Really looked competitive. He's been attacking early doors. He was very tentative. It looked like he was a walking wicket, but he seems to have recovered his confidence, his shot selection. The gameplay against spin has been a little bit easier than the guys who are just coming in, and a bit like Prashad targeting the top of the stops. Been really good, really impressive. He's got to kick on for his team. He's got a job to do.
Bit of extra turn from Ward. This is going to be interesting now. Pitch is dry. It's a used deck. We've now had well over 150 overs on this wicket. And there's another little thing which I've enjoyed about both sides here. They've always kept that deep sweeper quite square of the wicket, because all the runs that have come off a slicing cut shot, sometimes really well timed with speed, but the spin is always taking it more backward and square. Benjamin Ward. Brilliant fielding. Off his own bowling. Good diving stop. And after a couple of boundaries, feels very important for him.
Yeah, he's done well, hasn't he? He's done well for the team.
Chance from Dunford. Fielding after removing the glove. But yeah, Ward, he's a warrior. He wants to be in the game. And he certainly was in it on Monday. So whether he can continue to make the ball turn. And that googly is going to be very important. Sharky read it. Turned it into leg for a single.
Good passage of play this for the Nepal batters. They've just been showing that little bit more intent as we come up to the halfway stage where 128 for 2.
Just to show the Nepalese batters it's not going to be straightforward from here. Although they're on a good spell, on a good run of form, these two batting well in tandem. And a good balance of run scoring and solid defence. Correct decision making, but now a few fielding tinkers are going to be made. Birrell goes out to deep square. Blompe moves round to deep mid wicket. Long on is out, and as is deep cover. Quite square out there. Greenwood's in, and skewed drive goes out to back with a square leg. Now feels a good time to talk about percentages, doesn't it? In terms of chance for each side to go on and win. And I'll give you a little bit of time to think about it, Kaz.
I'm going to throw it back to you.
So I'll go first then. I'd say we're about a couple of wickets could do everything. So I think we're looking at about 56% Nepal. Is what I'd say.
Not 57.
Definitely not 57.
It's very precise.
What were you thinking, 57?
No, I was thinking more like 60-40.
Okay.
I was thinking more like 60-40.
A bit less precise.
Sitting on the fence, mate.
Yeah, okay. Fair play.
Round numbers.
Big appeal, this one. Instant shake of the head, but look at Greenwood's reaction. He's almost just heard the reason from the umpire why that wasn't given. And now he's heard the reason. He's even more shocked. What do you reckon? Just first time round by the eye.
Tight, very tight. If anything, I could only think that it's going down leg. It's the only thing I could think of. It's quite a full delivery. And he does tend to, he does plant his foot across the line. So if anything, I can only think line more than anything else. It'd be great to see a replay front on. So from the umpire's perspective,
I think we're going to get, well, we might get a side on one at some point. And I think why Greenwood was so shocked
Shot.
Good shot through the covers. This is going to run away for 4. Blompine knows it's 4. Jenna knows it's 4. They've given up the chase. Each over seems to bring about a boundary ball. And the Nepal batters are being pretty efficient at taking it on. But just from my lip reading skills, I think the umpire might have not given that on height, which is why Greenwood was quite so shocked. However, hello sweet, big appeal for LBW, but not from the bowler. He knows impact was outside off. So that ends the over, 135 for 2. And
Behind every victory, there's a story the world never sees. The pain. Be part of the journey. Watch the biographies.
45 mark to try and get halfway a run chase from half the overs, leaving the rest of the batters a decent score to chase. Done really well so far, these two batters. Bimmel's been busy off his 27 balls for his 17. He's run really well. Turned dot balls into singles, which is what you want. It's just whether he's got the steam to continue on for long periods and bat through.
Change of bowling. Now, by the judging of keeper standing up to the stumps, we're going to see a lot of Daniel Birrell taking pace off. Short fine leg is in the ring. Again, another sign of pace off. Third man's out. Cover point is out on the boundary. And there's also deep square and long on.
I would say that's music to my ears.
Short, just easy single then for Nepal. Daniel Birrell, who we couldn't quite believe went so early to the slower ball early on the first day here in Jersey. But now, Jersey in desperate need of a breakthrough just to be able to stay with a bit of a stronghold in this game. Is Birrell. On the wicket for the left-hander Pandey, who will enjoy that he now sees the opening bowler return. He's doing the right thing. He sits on 56. Where can Jersey find their wicket, Jazz? Where do you see it possibly coming from? Maybe a trap, you might say, or a fielding change? Although this is the top edge, I think it might land safely. Yeah, Greenwood's in pursuit. Retrieves it from inside the rope, and Pandey moves to 58.
I think that's the first sign there, and the first part of the question that I'm going to answer is really putting on some variation with your deliveries to mix the timing up. And I've been saying that pretty much most of the afternoon. On this pitch, you've got to do that, especially with batters who need pace. I think the second thing is also trying to squeeze out and tighten up one end, because at the moment the ball's flying around the ground in all parts of different directions.
Birrell just bringing the stumps into play there with that slightly slower ball. And Dunford standing up with the black gloves on, looks the part. Crowd has gradually filled up. A couple of deck chairs put out on the mid-wicket boundary. Looks like one man is got his hat over his eyes, just enjoying the cricketing lifestyle. Big shot, though, from Pandey. Gets no run for it. One ball away from the halfway mark. No, we're there. 138 for 2. 145 to win from 150. Nepal are in a convincing position.
They're in a strong position, yeah, absolutely. Just need to continue on grinding the results out from a batting perspective. As we see the worm again there, really showing a distinctive sign that just ahead.
Now Nepal will want it to stay like this the entire game. I want to just keep ticking on, try and sap the life out of the Jersey fielders. Bat pad popped up. Chance for non-strikers. Dunford has been so good at taking off that right glove, scampering over to the ball, picking up and throwing on the turn and being pretty accurate with it. Who's to say he might not get a bit of a closer chance coming soon. $140 for 2, Nepal. Reverse sweep, struck on the left shoulder. We saw something relatively similar be given yesterday off the bowling of Greenwood.
We've seen some of them being given out. Yeah.
We certainly have. It was a pretty swift rejection there that time. That's a good sweep shot. It's going to take some stopping. Daniel Birrell with the work. Solid from him out at deep backward square. That looked like a very, very tricky piece of ground fielding.
Yeah, it did for a tall man, fast bowler, getting down. Did really well. Used a bit of the old kneecap. Rolled over it. Well done.
In comes Greenwood. Look at this. Bit of pressure building for Jersey. They're trying to show a little bit of passion, a little bit of something. How can they force a wicket? How can they just create a moment? That ends the 26th. 142 for 2. Greenwood looks a little bit steaming. So Birrell to continue. Let's have a look at this. Is this the reverse sweep? It is. Oh, it's hit on the helmet. Is it the helmet? Oh, very high up on the shoulder. Look at that extra bounce. Nepal, while it might seem comfortable at the minute, all it takes is a moment just for Jersey to bring it back. They're staying in touch, Jersey, not letting them get away. And that's a glorious stroke. Ishan Pandey is a new man. He's become accustomed to the conditions. He's waiting for the bad balls, and now he's putting them away with style. Nepal moved to 146 for 2. Brilliant shot from Ishan Pandey. He moves to 67. It's been a very impressive return from him. Back of the lane, cut straight to Jonty Jenner. And some pretty good backing up from Julius Samaroa. Body on the line stuff there. As it clattered into his back thigh with the long barrier. Clouds still remain high. Wind still moving at a decent pace. Inside edge onto the back paddle, maybe even onto the keeper. Something's brewing here. Something is going to happen here, Kaz. And I think maybe it's either going to be a big shot or Jersey wicket.
Yeah, I feel a Jersey wicket coming on here. I really do. Again, with different pace being utilised, I feel a nick or a batting error, which is going to force a wicket here.
Job to the offside. Is this a chance? Sharky gets in safely. There's one ball left for Birrell. And just as this partnership grows, the left and right hand partnership is going to be a little bit frustrating here for the Jersey players. Brilliant work from Dunford. Pandey knew straight away that Dunford was going to be all over it. So that ends another over. 146 for 2, 137 needed of 139. They just got to keep doing exactly what they're doing and they'll get over the line.
Yeah, not to mention they've also got some quality batters still to come in. Dipendra Singh Arey. They've also got Rohit Pudal, the captain. They've also got Arif Sheikh and the big hitter himself, Gulshan Jha, a little bit later on. So they have got some batters still to come in.
Yeah, a solid 31 not out as well from paddle sweep, which is going to take a great piece of fielding work. Young man out there does some good work. Well, just remember yesterday, everybody, from 172 for 2 to 250 for 8. That's the possibility. And this partnership is building nicely. Is that been caught? The paddle sweep has come off something. And Dunford's pretty quickly agreed with the umpire, but it's definitely popped off something.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see that replay again.
Trying to go back to back with the paddle sweeps. Nepal very much in control. So Greenwood again looking for this wicket. Was the man to dismiss Pandey on Monday. Can he do it again? There's a paddle sweep. Just come off the fine edge of the bat. And I think they're going to have to make a fielding change here, Jersey. A kick of the dust from Greenwood tells you why. 4 runs to end the over, 150 up for Nepal, 28 overs gone and 152 for 2. Ishan Pandey is on 70, Bim Sharkey on 21.
Yeah, he's played that nicely, hasn't he? Just round the corner, did it a couple of balls earlier, got for 2 runs. This time he gets 4 quality runs. Just using his crease a little bit more, slightly down leg side from Greenwood, and he's just got the face of the bat to run it down to fine leg. Fantastic bit of batting there for Ishan, who's 70 off 89 balls. Supported nicely from Bim Sharkey, who's 21 of 35 balls.
it's time for a change. And we're going to get the new man, Dominic Blompeet. Provide a little bit of spin. I watched him bowl at Lords. He bowled very well, took a couple of wickets in a T20 doubleheader against the MCC. Performing well on the big stage, the home of cricket. Can Plompe be the man to make start the collapse? This looks like the kind of bowler that can make something happen.
Yeah, from a first ball perspective, attacking the crease nicely, getting through his action. Trajectory is good. Looking to target the pads. Just whether he can extract some turn.
Paddle sweep, played well by Sharkey. Again, that's the third time in the last 1.5 overs. Runs away to the boundary for 4. Sharkey on to 25, 156. Up for Nepal now.
Good cricketing shot. Good cricket shots. Just using the pace that Blumpy is offering there. Slightly offline. And Bim Sharkey's gone down. Shorter stature, so can get easily get closer to the ground. Just to help that on its way. Fantastic bit of cricket.
So we're going to make a little change here, Jersey. Looks like fine leg and deep square comes slightly finer. It's going to be a wide. Dominic Blompe. I'm not sure if you picked up on that from Van Breda in mid-wicket. This one's been clubbed out over his head, though. 4 more to Bim Sharkey. And all of a sudden, the Nepal players are gaining some noise as well. 161 for 2 now, Nepal. Wonder if we've... They sound like they're enjoying themselves, don't they, over there in their little mini marquee on the far side of this side of the ground. Relaxed feel, relaxed nature to the group. Enjoying watching their number 3 and 4 expertly chasing down this score. I imagine Stuart Law feels pretty comfortable. How are you watching as a head coach?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be quite content at the moment. I'd be quite happy with what I'm seeing. All my batters are getting some time in the middle, which is really
There's
important.
a direct hit. Very, very close. Now this is going to be some replay. It needed a direct hit. Jonty Jenner was the man to do it. And look how good this man is in the field. One-handed pickup. Blimey, that's close. Good work from our cameraman out there. So that ends the over. 162 for 2 Nepal. And again, Jersey, because they're... Jersey need a wicket here. It's Greenwood. It moves to 31 with what seems a pretty simple tap into the leg side.
Yeah, an effective bit of cricket there. Bim Sharkey, he's doing everything that's required of him right now. Picking up singles off the off spinner, making it look easy.
fully deep leg side field until the change has just occurred. Zach Tribe moves in. He'll be at mid-on. And now long off goes out. So the field is on the boundary. Long off, deep cover. Deep square, deep mid-wicket. Everyone else in the ring. Blompe continuing his stretches. Oh, that one scuttles low.
How close was that?
He had a brilliant angle from long off. Watch it just slide through the gate. Jersey doing all the right things, it feels. Any possible place they could be improving?
No, I think they're doing all the right things for a long period of time. That obviously
Firm sweep in the gap. 4 more.
it's them sort of deliveries you want to try and cut out. You've obviously got an offside field for a left-hander. You've got to try and bowl to this offside field as much as possible. He's punched a really small gap on the leg side there, past the corner fielder, and he's hit it with some real intensity. So just maybe the wrong line or the wrong length, especially with this field.
You're listening to Charlie Harden and former Q8 head coach Cassie Malley on a breezy day here at Grainville in Jersey. Second one-dayer where Nepal won the first one by 81 runs. It's a bit of spin, brings about leg byes. If this goes for 4, which it doesn't, good stop from Charles Bouchard. A few heads would have started to have dropped, but so that's what the worm will be showing. I just think if there's one difference between the two sides that I see, it'll be how they've played spin.
Yeah, and often one of the biggest challenges in associate cricket is having a game plan against spin. Having worked with many different associates now, is a lot of players don't actually have an understanding of how to play spin, and the ones who do are the ones who excel. You heard Asa just talk about your footwork against spin, which is really important, your shot selection, your decision making, but also having some creativity in there. And if you look at the contrast difference between the Nepalese batters who've played some innovation, who've played some sweeps, they've got out around the corner, they've got some boundary options available to them, who've played the paddles, conventional sweeps, in contrast difference to the Jersey guy. Like you said, a very English style of cricket. Try and play inside the V as often as possible. That's what it looked like. Not many, and if there were, they both went to the boundaries. So there were very limited sort of boundary options there. So yeah, you're right. Playing against spin at associate level is very key. We see a lot of fast bowlers come down. We see a lot of pace come down. But it's how you can play the slower deliveries, how you can play especially the left arm spinners. They seem to be the ones that seem to be struggling with everyone.
You're absolutely right. They've been so effective with that paddle, as you saw in the last over, that sweep shot. Smashed away to the rope. 2-4 from Blompe. Finds an easy single for Pandey. At this point in the game where it might be quite positive for Jersey to put a catcher in somewhere, just put a position to make the batter think a little bit differently. start bowling to a specific plan. And it just seems a little bit too easy for the Nepalese batters at the minute, just to keep the scoreboard ticking along, keep working the deep fielders. Almost should make it a little bit more challenging for Nepal to score their runs, make them hit over the top.
Yeah, a little bit something like the Stokes leadership, if you like, trying to put some fielders in some unorthodox positions to try and get the batters to think about how they can maneuver the ball in different areas, which might bring a mistake on. But at this stage, I'm looking too comfortable against the spin.
So it appears a little bit of chatter between umpires and batters, and the Nepal batters are quite keen for a drink, although the physio man's running out with his gear. So maybe that might just mean the Jersey players converge, and a few have popped in for their own drinks. A few are drinking from the drinks carrier. And Jersey know deep down that a wicket needs taking. Benjamin Ward taking a few what looks like cashew nuts, I reckon. Give him a bit of an extra boost to go at it in the remainder of this innings. So I reckon what I'd say here is, how are Jersey going to take their next wicket? Well, Pashad and Benjamin Ward have been the pick of the bowlers. And if Jersey are to go on and win this game, they've got to take the wickets, which means they're going to be forced into that decision to put on their best bowlers now, even if they've got to use up all 10. Whether they want to save them till the end or not, the story is clear. They'll want to take a wicket as they have a little group discussion. Chuggy Pashad, as you can see, leading that chat. And the main message will be, we're still in this game, boys. 174 for 2. They're not away from us just yet. They still need more than 100. And one wicket will bring 2. There's been a couple of the boys in there who really stayed intent. They've really stayed on top. One in particular, the keeper, Jake Dumford. Chuggy will be wanting all those to follow in Dumford's footsteps and be able to stay intent. A little bit of a clap, a little bit of positivity, and they're back underway. So Ishan Pandey looking to get towards triple figures. Bim Sharkey's next milestone, 14 runs away from a half century. But both of them will have the main score in sight. of that 2-8, 2 for 6, set by Jersey. And I'll just quickly take you through the scores. Carl Lyon at the top of the order made 56 from 80, but it was his opening partner who made 95, 5 run shorts, agonising as he just missed out on his maiden international ton for Jersey. The next to go was Greenwood for 32 from 45. And it was an innings that showed everyone they could get in and they could build up a bit of a score, because Zach Tribe was the next in. He made 50. John T. Jenner batted well alongside him for a short 27 off 15. Samaroa made a quick fire 7. And Brennan and Ward were not out for 7 and 0 respectively. So that shows that it is relatively easy once a wicket falls just to start up your innings again. So Scott Van Breda back on. Just his 3 overs so far, going at 5 runs per over. And the tall man, plenty of strength, will be looking to break this partnership. Can Drinks provide Jersey a wicket? Just pops up off a length, and you can hear just a little bit of extra noise, a little bit of extra chatter. Ashard will have drilled that into his teammates. Just reminded them of the magnitude of this occasion for Jersey. Can they compete alongside a top quality international team? To get through to a quick single. So normal service resumes for Nepal. 2 batters finding their form. Vim Sharkey had a battling 39 on Monday. He's approaching that mark again. There's Jake Dunford just in your shot behind the stumps, who's been running all over the place. Hasn't let a ball inside the circle leave his mitts. And Scott Van Breda seems to be their man that they've gone to from the pavilion end. He's their man to take a wicket. So Drinks has come. And Nepal know the road is simple. They don't need to search for boundaries. They're ahead of the rate. They can just keep ticking along. And it's up to Jersey to search for that wicket now.
Yeah, they have to make something happen here. They are doing the right things. They are putting the ball in the right places. Force a human error from somewhere. But the Nepalese batters seem to be doing also the right things as well by just ticking the scoreboard over, finding the little gaps inside the ring and punishing the bad balls to the boundary.
What they're doing well is that they're almost trying to make it boring here for Jersey, aren't they? They're trying to just bat long. They know they don't have to search for anything at the minute, but Jersey are doing everything absolutely possible to try and unsettle, try and make that breakthrough. That ends the over. 176-2 with 18 overs to go. 107 from 108 is the story. Just under 1 a ball. Nepal will be feeling confident that they can tick this off. If they... What kind of impact would that have on Nepal's next few games?
Honestly, right now, I don't think it'll be deeper than what most teams would have felt if they were losing the game. Why I say that? Because they've had a really good run out in the field in the first inning, so they've had 50 overs there. They've obviously bowled quality cricket on the first game and also batted well. Yes, there'll be a few learnings from today, but they've still had other people chip in other than Kushal. So it's still a good sign. They're not a one-man team, so different people putting their hands up, which is great. Yes, they'll be disappointed with the overall result, but I guess in the grand scheme of things, the competition is probably more important than the overall result.
I just want to just build on that. There was a brilliant diving stop just a moment ago, I think, from Zach Tribe. And the noise that then brought from the Jersey fielders. It's down the track comes Pandey. Thumped it over extra cover for a couple of bounce four. And he moves to 83 now. There's a good knock from the man from Nepal. Yes, that diving shot from Zach Tribe brought about a bit of a roar from the Jersey fielders. And I was watching Kushal give a bit of a passionate speech at drinks. Almost just bigging this up to be this is their moment now almost to really bounce back against a top quality nation and following the footsteps of their keeper, Jake Dunford, who's been running all over the place and maintain that positivity for Jersey.
Yeah, and you need a couple of what we call cheerleaders in the team. You need guys who are going to be constantly high energy, lots of noise in and around the circle. You need guys who are going to who've got a good vibe in the team and take people through. But a stop in the field or a diving catch or a single stop can make all the difference just by keeping people on strike, building some dot ball pressure. That's exactly what you want. You just don't want to give cheap boundaries away, which I think Jersey have done before the drinks break.
What can Blom PD? Get back to the bowler. Almost jumped in at the roof again there. One of those bump ball moments once more. Down the track, over the bowler's head. Long on's trying to get round. But Dan Birrell can't quite make it. Isham Pandey is trying to get this done in quick time now. He moves to 87.
Quality shot. This is what I'm talking about. Using your feet to the spin, hitting down the ground, getting to the pitch of the ball to help negate the spin, if there is any, and hitting. Another 97 off 102 balls.
So Scott Van Breda continuing from his first over post drinks. Lumbers in to dismiss Bimshaki. Flowing drive hits back to point. No run added. $153 for one. Jersey were at this moment in time. It doesn't really feel like they're going to make the breakthrough by building up dots. It feels like we're past that time. And in terms of where Jersey can possibly find this breakthrough, well, it feels like maybe an unforced error from a Nepalese batter.
Yeah, for sure.
This could be a chance. Greenwood under it. Taken on the rope. There's the unforced error. Bimshaki on 37 comes down the track to Scott Van Breda, tries to clear him over the bowler's head. And you've got to argue that the game situation at this point in time, was that needed? Well, Bimshaki was trying to get a boundary, try and speed up this run chase. And Jersey will know in that huddle they'll know that this game is back on. They've done what they needed to do. They've broken the partnership. And now Nepal at 186 for 3. It's going to make their job just a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, and that's the forced error you're talking about. They're really good catch in the deep by Greenwood, very close to us. But I 100% agree with you. In the context of the game, absolutely bossing it. Bim, Sharky, 37 of 51 deliveries. Was that required? Did you need to give that wicket away? Not quite sure you did.
Well, Van Breeder with his first wicket of the series comes in his 5th over on the 17. And more importantly, halfway through the 34th over, Nepal's run chase takes a dent. That wicket brings about the main man, Dipendra Singh Array, their top scorer in the ICC T20 World Cup from February. Yeah, he was their main batter in that tournament. And this is a chance for him to get a little bit of time at the crease.
Yeah, he wouldn't have batted much. He's obviously didn't bat on Monday. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on. But he's a quality batter. He's really busy at the crease. He's got power. He's got finesse. He's also got a bit of creativity in him as well. And he's an experienced franchise player coming back into 18 overs left of the game. This will be right up his street.
Well, Jersey will want to go bang, bang. That one pops up. Here's something brewing now for Jersey. You can feel it in the air. More encouragement. Jersey will be seeing this as a free hit now, right?
I think they'll be looking at possible opportunities to put pressure on the new batter.
He gets off the mark in classy style just by running it down to third man. A good ball earns him a run. Well, this is the kind of over that Jersey needed. Plenty of dots, a wicket, a stall in the progression of this game for Nepal. Just means a new batter, however talented, has got to start again.
Yeah, it's not easy. New batter coming in on this wicket. And that's what I was talking about a little bit earlier on in the day, is that you've got to...
That's what we'll try and do. We'll try and vary his speeds, use his skill. We likened him to Benny Howe yesterday, and that's a really good comparison for me. And that's a fine edge. Greenwood running with pace round to come and collect it. Heavy boots slapping on the surface. 189 for 3 now, Nepal. as this game holds now a little bit more tension. And Nepal just ticking off the singles at the minute. And as we've just heard, a very, very small rumble. And that was the sign last time for a bit of impending rain. However, the forecast looks better than Monday, so we can hold out hope because this game is set on for an exciting finish. 93 from 93. Here's Pashad. And they look for a single. It's Jonty Jenner. Check out that run in between the wickets. They couldn't go anywhere because they knew the man they were hitting. Good work from Dunford down the leg side. He knows deep down that's not out, but it's a great piece of work. And we saw him do something very similar. And do you know who it was on strike who got stumped down the leg side last time?
Ishan, maybe?
Ishan Pandey it was. So the man who was on strike on 87 was dismissed to a stumping. Very, very similar style, just on Monday. Great work from Dunford. Pandey 13 runs away. Trying to get all their wicket-taking bowlers on now, Jersey. Pashad from that end, Van Breda from this end. Who's maybe the next option for Jersey to go to take a wicket?
Julius. I'd love to see maybe Julius coming back on.
Asa Tribe was talking about Samarella and good fashion, the extra bounce, the extra pace. Here's Van Breda then. Halfway through his 10. Push off the back foot. It's Jonty Jenner though. Another chance. And it's clashed into the legs of Array, who apologises.
Great pickup. Eagerly assisted by something on the edge of the square. Just allowed the ball to pop up straight into the hand of Jonty Jenner, who threw off balance. Dipendra would have been impressed with that.
Turned towards short fine. Potential for a 2. Missed the bat of Ishan Pandey. I'm going to choose to ignore the very light drizzle on the top of the marquee. Very, very light, everybody. Don't get worried. It's okay. Heavy breeze across the ground, maintained.
I think we're all right. I think we're all right.
Solid punch from Array. On 9-3 for 3 in Nepal. And I would just quite like to see another worm after the end of this over. Just because I reckon that wicket might cause a slight dip. Dot ball in the covers. The wicket is exactly not only what Jersey needed, but it felt like this game This game needed that little bit of a wicket. It looked too easy for Sharky and Pandey at one point.
Yeah, and they made it look easy by just doing the right things, just nudging through, getting through the singles, doubles, but also capitalising. Half a chance here. Another
Hooray.
throw at the non-striker's end.
Just for a moment was almost a little bit flat-footed there, right?
Yeah, he's not looked comfortable at the crease, to say the least. I will really look to see if it's not easy. I'll look to see if he can just spend a little bit of quality time without impacting the score, the team's effort too much.
This is run down towards third man. Potential 2. Pandey wants to stick to 1. So let's see the impact of that wicket. And the worm. Here it comes. We need to wait a couple more overs, I reckon, but it is beginning just to slightly converge. Maybe an extra wicket from a Jersey bowler could just make that drop a little bit more. To run in now. Dot ball, pressure building. They can take another hit. Jersey will begin to be swinging the game back in their direction. The reaction from Pershard, a few slaps on the ground. He knew how important it would have been just to build up an extra dot. Just bringing Array back on strike. Third man goes out. Just mid-wicket is in on the leg side, along with short, fine leg. Hits the mid-wicket fielder. They do get through to a quick single. Van Breeder definitely prevents 2. Not far from the 200 mark now. Nepal. Top edge. Here's a chance. Summeroa doesn't put it down. Isham Pandey goes for 90. That's the wicket Jersey needed. And all of a sudden, out comes a new batter alongside Jersery, and this game is well and truly on. It's 86 needed off 80 balls. Jersey are doing all that they can.
Fantastic little breakthrough there. We called it a couple of overs ago. Charlie coming in and doing something different. Not quite got hold of that. Mistimed that completely, made it look comfortable in the end. How big of a breakthrough is this at 197 for 4 now, 36.4. Still requiring 86 of 80. This turning out to be a fantastic game of cricket.
Well, just applause for a brilliant 90 from Isham Pandey. Removes his gloves and receives his applause from his teammates, who'd have loved to have got to triple figures, taken Nepal over the line. But that's not the story. And it's up now to the Nepal middle order, the finishers. Arif Sheikh, he's done it well with the ball. Can he do it with the bat? Made 11 on Monday. And Jersery now will be looking for someone just to stay with until the end. 13.2 overs to go. So Jersey got 100 runs exactly off their last 12 overs. And Nepal have got 13 to get 85. The difference is, though, now that they had set batters at the time.
हेलो आंटी कैसी हैं आप तुम भी अपने पापा की तरह सुबह सुबह हाँ वो पिया से बात सिल्की होते हैं ना इसलिए तो नमो के लिए लाई थी घर से पढ़ाई से फुर्सत ही कम होती है मतलब ये सच बोल रात को पार्टी नहीं आ रही पार्टी और ये नहीं आंटी ये तो इतना पढ़ाई करती है कि कॉलेज वाले से तो बस फैकल्टी के
Two new batters, even though Dipendra's been in for 11 deliveries. Arif Sheikh is going to have to start coming to the party relatively soon. He's only just got in, and he needs to get himself into this batting wicket before he can start taking on some responsibility and pressure.
Another good diving stop from John T. Jenner. He's been so impressive in the field, like a live wire.
Yeah, he has. It's been good. The standards have been good, to be fair. I would probably say the Nepal standards, probably they might have been a little bit disappointed for their own set of standards, but Jersey have been really good in the field.
Carved straight to that man again. John T. Jenner in the action. One run now away from the 200 mark now, Nepal. They've lost plenty of wickets. Diving stop from Samaroa. Hesitation as well. The noise in the field tells you what that kind of moment means. How many extra singles can they cut off? How many boundaries can they prevent Jersey? And that lot, the Nepal fans, have a few nerves knocking around. Another one picks up off a length. I think you're right. After Van Breed is done with his spell, it's time for a bit of Julius Samaroa to add that height. Do you think height can over-accentuate a bit of variable bounce in a pitch, or is it very minimal?
Depends how good the pitch is, I reckon. I mean, you look at some of the quality fast bowlers, got good height, got good bounce, equally supported by the pitch, and they're not actually breaking the back to get the bounce up. And you go on other decks where you got shorter guys who, because of the surface and the injustice in the surface, that there's balls pitching up and bouncing all over the place. So yeah, it depends on the surface as well. But I think they've been quality so far.
The picture turning a little bit gloomy. It's that pathetic fallacy.
I think a question for me would probably be how much of this sort of slight rain that's been coming down persistently now for what, 5-10 minutes? How much has that had an effect on the delivery that Ishan Kishan went on to pull? Because he's played a few solid pulls all day long. How much has that gone into sort of skid onto him? Interesting to see what other impact the rest of until they stay out there and the rain keeps coming down, how much more impact there's going to be on that pitch and how best Jersey can utilize it.
That one slides off the outside half towards the point. It's a really interesting point you raised there, Kaz. Do you think that suits? We talked about Samaroa. Is it a time for pace to close out the 10 or a bit of pace off? Josh and Ben Ward still to come. This is a chance. Summerova. Is that gone? It is. Another massive wicket for Jersey. And it's Ara Sheikh who has to. And there's passion in that celebration. Look at that team get together. It's a tonic unit. And they've taken the 5th wicket of Nepal.
Selling his partner short. Fantastic bit of fielding there from Julius at extra cover region. Gone straight into the keeper's hand. Made it really easy work. Another great tip to the youngsters who are listening out there. The throw has got to be accurate. It's got to be. And on moments like that, it makes a lot of difference. Brilliant bit of cricket.
Well, it's those moments there that change a game. 200 for 5 now. Wickets continue to tumble, just like they did on Monday. Now Jersey the side on top. 83 off 68. That's a very different picture.
Certainly is. And again, something we were talking about is pressure will bring wickets. Dot balls will bring pressure. Good bowling, good areas, a good plan will bring dot balls. So it all works together.
So it was Summerall with the throw in. Tribes leading the encouragement. Daniel Birrell, bit of a leader in this side. Also detecting that this is a moment Jersey can grab hold of. Jersery looking for another single. Well, it's his skipper alongside him now. Rohit Patel. He's alongside him. Yet to face a delivery. Yes, the drizzle continues. And you mentioned, Kaz, about what kind of impact that might have on this game. Cracking cut shot, but he's found the deep man. The boundary feels a long time ago now.
It does, you're right.
Maybe that's credit to the way they've bowled post drinks.
Absolutely. And the dynamic element in the bowling and the batting. But when you're in the field and you can add to the quality of the bowling that's coming down, the pressure is there.
Van Breeder keeps his lines tight. But Nepal they now know they've just got to search for every single run. You saw how fast they ran that first run. It's due to the game situation. 2 new batters at the crease. Jersery faced 20 balls for his 8. Rohit Patel yet to be on strike. Glorious cut shot. The kind of stroke that can just start to swing the game back in the batter's direction. Brilliant shot from Jersery.
Just when you were talking about boundaries, you've seen one crash into the boundary rope there. What a fantastic cricket shot. Back foot cut shot. Fantastic.
Big swing. Chance for a stumping. Very, very good work behind the sticks from Dunford. They really can't. They don't have any leeway at all, these Nepalese batters, because of the skill behind the stumps.
Yeah, he's a big advantage. Having the keeper standing up. Dunford, he's done really well. Been impressed. Last 2 games has been really, really good.
Oh no, this is not going to help Jersey. A piece of fielding from Birrell's been spilled, and because Zach Try was so on it to go and back up his teammate, the spill has actually pushed it back to where Zach Try was coming from. Coming from that mid-on area. And a little single. Again, just adds the tension. Right, 10 overs to go. 76 needed. This game lies in the balance. And I think what's really important now is that wickets column. 5 wickets down. Nepal not in the position that they were. They were cruising at one stage. 186 for 2 they were. 2 batters set. Bim Sharkey was on 37. Isham Pandey was in the 80s. They looked set on to make this run chase, but a few quick wickets and the game's changed.
Absolutely. Added pressure in the wickets column. Excellent bowling to be backed up by the guys in the field. And they've really squeezed the gap here. Put the pressure back on to the Nepalese batters. Asking questions every single delivery. Be interesting to see at what point do they just start to accelerate and try and catch up.
In at the stumps from Pershad. He knows he probably drifted that just ever so slightly too far down the leg side, but his figures are strong. 2 for 31 from 8.1. Nepal had Lalit Rajbanshi, who controlled the game with spin. And Charles Pershad is doing the same for his country. The required run rate for so long was just under 6. Now it's at 7.76. Padel is taking on a risky chance. If that hits, that's gone. This game, over the last 30, 40 minutes, has had a complete switch around.
Yeah, as they say, it swings and roundabouts, doesn't it? And definitely seems to be swinging in Jersey's favour here.
I mean, if Jersey take another wicket now, they'd be favourites.
You'd think they've got the upper hand, but never say never. I've seen games come around and leave you, and then all of a sudden come back in your favour. So never say never. Still a few dominant batters to come out from Nepal's point of view.
Blompi had a bit of tricky work to do out there. It was going towards him, but it was bobbling at pace. He did well to get something in behind it. Now, at one point in this chase so far, Nepal were about 35, 40 runs ahead of where Jersey were. And after Pershad puts in a very good effort, they're now just 10 runs ahead.
Overs to really squeeze and tighten the gap, put some pressure on. Moments of brilliance has been there as well. And obviously bringing in some fresh batters allows Jersey to put on the extra pressure as the big man Daniel Beryl comes back in. His 6 overs are gone, none for 32. But I think he's going to be a crucial part in this back end with his slow ball variations. He's a quality outfit.
Short, pulled away. Blompe's got some work to do. Good stop again from him. They're going to come back to no, they're not. Good work out in the deep. That's going to mean a lot to the Jersey fielders that their man has just prevented the possibility of 3 runs. Great work from him out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Every run seems to be counting at this moment in time. Fantastic bit of fielding.
Short arm pull. They're going to push for 2 here, and they're going to get it. Blompe out in the deep. Some brilliant backing up from Patrick Googe. Now that is top class. Running in all the way from deep cover to come in and back that one up right on the ring line. Top quality from Googe, who put in such a great effort with the bat just earlier in the day.
Another good example for youngsters who are watching. Just because the ball is not in your area, you can be moving, you can be helping out the fielding department. And he's done exactly that, sprinting in from the leg offside, even though the ball was retrieved on the leg side. Great bit of fielding.
And now, everybody, the run rate required for the Nepalese batters is over 8. It's ever so slightly getting harder for Nepal with every ball. Chamorro is picked out by Jersery. The Jersey fielders know that they have the potential now to force an incredible result. Two balls left for Beryl. And there's that man Dunford again, sprinting towards the ball. Just doesn't stop that guy. He's been absolutely terrific. I reckon he should just do the MS Dhoni and keep with just one glove on. It's always coming off. Greenwood's out here at long on. Long off is also deep, as is cover and mid-wicket. Find a single. Out into the leg side. So Beryl, his over goes for 4. Now the required run rate at 8.5. There it is. I wonder if next over, that word might have dropped beneath the Jersey one. 215 for 5. At this point, Jersey just 3 down. All the stories that are unfolding today. Here's Pashad. Clipped away. Just with the pull shot on the bottom edge.
Come on in, Jersey boys.
Bit more support from the crowd. Anticipation is brewing here at Grainville. Blompe cuts off the boundary. Good throw in perfectly above the stump. Standards out in the field, a top class from Jersey at the moment.
Yeah, they've been really good, really impressive. Makes all the difference when you've got quality setter boundary riders who can cover a big distance, strong arms. Good to see.
Guided just past Jonty Jenner. I wouldn't have put it past him to have pulled off an incredible one-handed diving stop there, but that was well out of reach.
Yeah, they've been good. Question is, 64 runs required is the equation now of 45 balls, with the run rate creeping up to 8.53. Can they get that up to tens?
Just beating the bat. Charles Bouchard is on a mission for his third. This is his last over. This feels like a big over in the run chase.
Yeah, and another little wicket here for Jersey to really put the pressure on. Asking a lot of questions from the remaining batters that are coming in.
Bouchard bowls full and straight. Can only be squeezed out to mid-off by a 8. Bouchard on the brink of a top-class spell. This game is crescendoing to a brilliant finish. Down the leg side, that's not far from the stumps. It's going to be wide though. Good effort from Dunford to block that off. 4 wides would have been a hammer blow.
Be interesting to see the replay there, because the batter was just falling over at the point of the take. Interested to see whether that was just a little bit of a missed opportunity. But overall, stopped 4 runs down leg side.
So Bouchard just waits for his final delivery. Big swing out towards cover though. Will just be a single. That ends the over 2-2-3 for 5.
Yeah, fantastic.
एप्पल भाई 10 किलो गोश्त चाहिए।
टोमेटो भाई आज ताज़ा गोश्त नहीं है, आप रात को आजिए तब बिल्कुल ताज़ा मिल जाएगा। इन्हें क्या पता, मैं तो इन्हें गधे का गोश्त बेच रहा हूँ, फिर भी हर रोज इतनी भीड़ लगी रहती है। अरे वाह, कितना तगड़ा गधा है, इसे बेचकर तो मैं लाखों रुपए कमा लूंगा। सर, यहाँ आदमी लोगों को गधे का मांस बेच रहा है, इससे लोगों की सेहत खराब हो रही है, इसे तुरंत गिरफ्तार कीजिए। ठीक है, मैं अभी जाकर इसे गिरफ्तार करता हूँ। एप्पल, तुम्हारे खिलाफ गधे का मांस बेचने की शिकायत है, अब मैं तुम्हें गिरफ्तार कर रहा हूँ। सर, ये 2 लाख रुपए रख लीजिए, मुझे छोड़ दीजिए। शर्म नहीं आती एक ईमानदार पुलिस वाले को बोलना। आलू ये मैं क्या देख रहा हूँ? मेरे ऑफिस में ये झंडा लगाने की इजाजत तुम्हें किसने दी? अरे क्या बक रहे हो? क्या इस झंडे की लगाने की भी मैं इजाजत मांगूंगा आपसे? बस अब फैसला
Very quick between the crease. If anything, Rohit needs to call that through, and he has done. 2 good runs added to the total. 226 for 5 now. 43.4. 2 balls remaining this over.
You've got to say, Jersey are now on top of this game. It's almost Jersey's to lose. It's just the experience that this batting pair have.
Yeah, absolutely. And what they've done really well is cut out the 4-ball option. They've squeezed the dot balls, and there's been a lot of them now in the last 10 overs. Really taken pace off, which is something I've been saying all day. As we just speak about being really good in the field, unfortunately, it's been a small error from Zach Tribe, I think it is.
That's a big error.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, you don't want another boundary being leaked, which means there's 53 of 37 required. A gift there at deep mid-off from Zach Tribe.
Well, look at the uptick. That 1-4, I reckon, has kept Nepal just ahead of Jersey here. But imagine if you see those last 3 wickets, it just stalled Jersey at the very end. It was also a testament to how well Nepal bowled. So that gives Jersey hope. If they can bowl as well at the death, as Nepal bowled, then they'll be well within a chance of winning this game. 6 overs to go, Kaz. 53 needed. Who have you got?
Tough call at this stage of the game. Really tough call. I'd love to say Nepal with these 2 batters. I think it's Jersey's to lose. Certainly do at this stage of the game. Very much in control of the ball. I haven't seen any explosive shots just yet. But they still do have Gulshan Jha to come in, who is an explosive batter.
Short. That's into a pocket. The timing's not quite good enough. It will just be 2.
I have seen him take a couple of bowlers down in 1 over and gone for 20-25 when it mattered under the lights. So he can hit a ball. But again, he's not batted during this series so far. And it's not easy on these conditions to come in and tee off from bolt 1. So it'll be interesting to see how he bats.
God, it's John Jenner. Non-strikers then. If that was hit, that would have been close, but they're going to get overthrows. God blimey. Just a couple of leaked runs here from Jersey over the past few deliveries. Guess we'll come to see if that costs them in the long run. Was that against your boys, that Gulshan Jha moment?
Yeah, and he's done it to others as well. He is a deep striker of the ball, and he is renowned for his ability to win matches from unwinnable situations and conditions. So has got the ability to do it.
Hold. A great stop. Zach tried making up for his mistake last over with a sliding block of a fast-moving ball off the bat of DSR8. Just 2 runs. This game is slowly having everything.
Already in this over, you can see the intensity has increased. 6 coming off the first 3 balls, dealing in 2 so far.
Slower ball, well bowled. Slower Yorker. Daniel Birrell has been so good at that today. And now, I reckon they'll probably be looking to bowl him out, don't you think?
Just get a couple of wickets. So really slow the game down and get that run rate back up to 9.5, 10. You can get it pushed up to 11, 12, even better. Getting into double figures is not easy from here onwards, especially with a few new batters in.
Just back of a length, and Rohit Patel hits it out into the leg side. They're going to come back for 2. It's going to be close. A little bit of hesitation. I think that might just have been the wrong end there. Good diving stop from Samaroa. I think he's done something there. You can see him on the right side. Just took a bit of a bonk, I think.
The ball's crashed into the end of the palm or the thumb. It looks like, and it seems like he's in some discomfort. But again, a great display of batting. 2 fast batters in between, and the boundary riders need to come off the rope a little bit. They almost need to sort of be a couple of yards in extra as we see a change in the field. Mid-wicket coming in. 45 on the leg side has pushed back to a fine leg position.
Pulled away. That's a strong shot. Again, Zach Tribe out there. This time preventing the second run. Got his hands on his knees. And the last few overs have just taken it out of him a little bit. But there you go. That is 10 from the over, purely in 2s and 1s. So it's a good over for Nepal. And he's still got boundaries to hit. But we did see Jersey found it very tricky.
And expect to go at 8, 9 and over, especially with the quality of the bowling that's coming on, the condition on the pitch. We get into the evening. It's not easy. 40 runs required now of 30 balls.
Van Breeder, his final over. Punch back to him. Good diving stop. Whether that was a chance or not, I don't think it was. Van Breeder has had a very good return to the side. He wasn't available on Monday, and now he's back. He's just going at a little over 4 runs and over. Birrell cuts it off. Another dot, 2 in a row. It's that time in the game where 2 dots in a row cause big pressure. Tension in the air. Deep point, long on, long off, deep square leg. Fielder's walking in. Playing a miss, a 3rd dot in a row. The Nepal skipper, we feeling the pressure now. It's reminding me of when late on Monday evening, Charles Burchard, the final batter for Jersey, faced out 5 dots in a row and was dismissed from the last. Boundary needed for Nepal. And there is one. Innovation. Removes any sign of pressure. Rohit Patel with a perfectly executed ramp shot moves Nepal to 244 for 5, and he moves to 20.
Yeah, good bit of innovation there, especially as the options before that were drying up. He's not really getting hold of this. Hit it into 3 dot balls, but the 4th ball, great innovation. Let's see what he's got for the last 2 balls.
Kicked out towards long on. Greenwood attacks. No second run. As the rain just continues to patter that little bit harder now. Still just very light drizzle. both sides looking forward to an exciting finish. Full toss.